All right, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. Nice to see you all here. And your feet, if you're sitting at your desk, just have them flat on the floor and really try and feel the soles of your feet in the floor, on the floor. Of course, I went to see my chiropractor this morning at 7:30, and she was telling me to put my fingers in between my toes and squeeze them. So maybe you guys could try this afterwards, and then you turn the foot inwards and then outwards. But you go from the back of the foot with your hand and interlace your fingers in between your toes. She said that what that helps to do is to keep us, gives us a little bit more flexibility, and we have more stability, which is kind of amazing. Always amazing. Every time I go there, there's different tricks. Anyway, that was today's trick, to kind of massage your in between your toes. Anything that gives us a little bit more balance, a little bit more groundedness. So feel those feet, the heels, the side of the foot, the big ball mound, the little ball mound, all of your toes. So some of you here will have grown up, without shoes on. So my chiropractor grew up in San Anselmo, which was a very different place than it is now. And because she asked me, did you run around, if you went around in bare feet? I said, well, I did. I spent most of my childhood barefooted, much to my mother's dismay. And she said, I did too. So, if you grow up without shoes on your feet, you're a little bit more connected to the earth, but you develop a different muscles, different way of balancing. Anyway, look into it if it interests you. But our feet are so much more important than we realize. And knees about hips width apart. Shoulders align with the hips. And your ears align with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light that stretch from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just imagine you're lengthening your spine. Get a nice deep breath. Bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp, the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, back of the eyes, ocular nerve, or eyelashes. Relax the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the jaw, back of the tongue, back of the head. And relax your ears and your inner ear. Relax your neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax the throat and the chest and the belly. And just relax all your limbs, including your hands and feet. Notice the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. The breath sensations. And be aware of any sound in your environment. Trying not to allow the mind to run off and investigate. Don't be like Mrs. Craddock from Bewitched. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. Put some space in between those thoughts. And try not to criticize what's there. Sometimes our internal dialogue is a little harsh. So recognize that when you see it. And then Be objective. Try not to follow any stories that may or may not be true, probably likely not true. And then just watch and feel. And we can bring to mind all these people of our life, our beautiful friends, our loved ones, spouses, children, siblings, best friends. And then think of this, a few people in our life we find irritating or we don't like or they're harmful. And then there's all of our strangers. So many we pass in a day. And then there's these fleeting connections you have with people. And today we have a walk. I'm very close to National Forest here. It's within walking distance. It's an open reserve. Anyway, many years ago, there was a young woman. She was 24. She died in a car accident, and her parents purchased a bunch of land up here and set it aside for hikers. And there's a memorial for her up there, which I found by accident. But anyway, so there's that. And then there's this, it's called Pam's Blue Ridge. So her name was Pam. So I was walking up there towards that today because there's also a crystal mine up there where they used to mine crystals for radios in World War II. So it's very, very old and there's not much left. It's quite small. I mean, it's not a big hole in the ground. It's just a little bit of a hole in the side of the hill. But you can still see crystals lying around there. So I was heading up to the crystal mine and I passed by this woman walking her dog. And I was first of all attracted to her because she had this beautiful pink jacket on. I liked the color. And we just had this moment of recognition. Hi. She had this gorgeous dog, Australian blue heeler. And that was it. For a moment, she was a friend. Now, she's a stranger. I have no idea who this person is, where they live. So we can have these momentary connections with people, like, someone on a plane or on a flight. So we have those kind of, and then they become a stranger again. So that's a fleeting example of a friend and a stranger changing place. But however we feel about any particular person at any particular time, they're all equal in this wish to be happy, this wish to be free from suffering, and having this extraordinary capacity for our Buddha mind. So we'll do this practice today for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. So I think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process it's basically psychological. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change that by creating positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being in this day, in this life, and in any of our past lives. And the reason we regret is based on this logic of karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So it just makes sense. It's just logical that you would want to remove those karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So I was just, before this class, we were doing a Lam Rim. So we're in the section on karma. And, I mean, as Lama Zopa Rinpoche says, you can't experience anything you didn't create the cause for. You just allow that to sink in for a little bit. So all of this is our karma, every action. reaction. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor who has these methods that we can use to purify. And it's not that we're needing the Buddha to forgive us. We're purifying ourselves by relying upon his methods. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So you imagine he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, has a beautiful face full of love and compassion and kindness. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right, and the left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents enlightenment. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings and the very beings we have harmed, and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings you've ever harmed since beginningless time. And then think of those who've harmed you. And the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to this power of remedy. And this is the medicine doing this practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you, it disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sabasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa sutukaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasiti mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramame mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a humpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Drita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. Next is this purification of our speech. And imagine again, Vajrasattva very happily, delighted, sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time pushing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking about people behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mempiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, and includes yourself. And next is this purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So imagine you walk into a room, you flick on the switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So imagine the moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind So all your attachments and neediness and anger and depression, bitterness, grudges, resentments and jealousy, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasapha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapha Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawakama Sita Me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasapha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapha Dina Patita Jita Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan Sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita Jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ha ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe. So be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think that there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is this purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine the Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagawan sawatata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra ahum pe vajrasapha samaya manupalaya vajrasapha dina patita jita meboa situkaya meboa sipokaya meboa anurakta meboa sawasidi mimpiyata sawa kama sita me Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahum Pe Vajrasafa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasafa Dina Patita Jita Mebawa Situkaya Mebawa Sipokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawasidi Mimpiyatsa Sawakama Sitame Sitam Shiyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe. So now feel you're completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to this power of resolve. This is where we make a decision. You have to decide. Otherwise, nothing happens without deciding. So I don't want to harm. I want to refrain from harming. That's the decision. So this is where we resolve to do that. And without making a decision like this, we're going to keep doing the same old things over and over again that are harmful to ourselves and others. So we all have these habits, habit energies. It's kind of like this. Sometimes it's very unconscious. And it can be harmful to ourselves and to others. So just think, I don't kind of want to do this. I don't want to be like this. And first of all, rejoice in everyone, your efforts coming here tonight. All different time zones. It's very cool. So rejoice in that. And then think about something you'd like to work on between now and tomorrow. Something really simple, very short amount of time. Don't make a big deal out of it. Just think of something. And then think, Vajrasattva is delighted with us, wants to merge with your mind, and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate a little bit on emptiness. So we think in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. And we can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. It's always good to question that. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice, this Vajrasattva practice, ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our reciting the names of Manjushri. Oh, never mind. Arising from a great vital force, unborn beyond expression, based on words or speech, the foremost cause of every form of speech, the shining forth of every kind of language. Great feast, who takes the form of great passion, producing bliss in every sentient being. Great feast, who takes the form of great anger, great enemy of every mental poison. Great feast, who is by nature great delusion, delusion's vanquisher for deluded minds. Great feast, who is in essence great fury, great adversary to all furiousness. It's so good, this text. All right, everybody, lots of love. So nice to see you all. And so what I did say to some of the people who are at the ritual, we had a ritual training meeting, didn't actually happen because the host didn't turn up. But so the people that actually turned up, I did kind of promise them we would do the blessing the speech. So are you all right if we do that? So you're okay to do blessing the speech tomorrow? And then if by chance they don't turn up, then we can do a deity or something, whatever you want. It's great to do that practice, though. It's a really beautiful practice. So let's just do that. We can just do lots of lovely visualization and put pink drops on our tongue and make sure we walk out into the world with perfect speech. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Good night. Thank you guys so much for hosting. And I will see you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.